Oscar, I've been told there's a reason that you have the only non-white cleats on the team. Can you take us through that story?
Yeah, well, I have US 14 size feet, so I have big feet, and obviously specialists will wear soccer cleats to punt in and things like that. So the availability of soccer cleats in my size is pretty limited at times. So there's a few different options, but yeah, the black cleats I think is why I just get given them, and I just wear what I can.
How, I guess, acclimating to life here in Oxford and in Mississippi in general, how's it going for you?
Yeah, I've loved it. It's been great. I think it helps. Obviously, Australia's on the other side of the world, but there's a lot of similarities. We speak the same language, eat similar foods, things like that. So I think the differences have been really exciting, and it hasn't been a challenge. It's been, seeing different cultures and the way people do things here a little bit differently. The food has been fun to get used to, the accents, things like that. So to be honest, the change has been really, really fun, and that's what I came here for, to play football and have a life experience like that.
So you're saying the food's the same or it's different?
It's similar. Like the food we'll eat here at the football facility, 80% of it would be a similar sort of thing that I would eat back home, with subtle variations, maybe a little bit more fried. Things like gumbo and grits, the things I've never seen in my life before. But we had crab legs and big turkey legs, sort of the size of people's arms the other day. So I think we get looked after very well here, and yeah, it's been fun to. All of those things are just trivial, and they're fun parts of the journey.
How did you get to American football? Obviously, I know you played Australian rules. What's the process? We see a lot of punters from Australia these days coming in and playing college football.
Yeah, so I grew up playing Australian football, which isn't rugby. It's a different sport altogether.
And can you kind of give me the differences there? I'm not super familiar.
Yeah, so Australian football would be a field probably almost 3 times the size of an American football field. It's circular, or an oval shape, and it's a lot of running, tackling, everyone on the field. The way to move the ball is to punt the ball. So we grow up, instead of throwing it, I'll kick a ball, and that's what I was doing since I was 5 or 6 years old. So I grew up with that dream to play that professionally, and I got to a point where I was in an equivalent of a minor league in Australia, and the door was closing pretty quickly to make that jump to professional league. And I just had run into a guy I knew who'd just come back from 4 years of playing for a number of different college teams, and he had just said that Pro Kick Australia offer guys to transition into college football, and my awareness of college football was pretty limited at that point. The team I played for in Sydney, Australia, had Michael Dixon, had gone through that same Australian football program. He went and played at Texas, and he's now on the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL. So had a little bit of awareness, but not a whole lot. And the opportunity through Pro Kick Australia was to do a certain amount of training with them to get up to college level speed, and it sort of is offering to travel the world to play almost professional football in a way, with the crowds and things like that, and get an education. And at my age, I was 22 when I decided to start training to do that. It was a no-brainer. It was an opportunity to come on an adventure, and I'm here now, so it's been a pretty exciting journey so far.
Please forgive me for a stupid question, but how different are the balls themselves, the American football?
They're similar. The Australian football would be a little bit rounder on the ends, and they're a softer leather. It's like almost like in the rain it'll become quite slippery, and so it's a bigger ball to kick. I would kick the point of the ball. That's how soft it is on the ends. So similar shape, but again a little bit of adjustment. When I started with Pro Kick Australia, it's almost the skill of kicking is so innate as an Australian, but the subtle variations are pretty significant. So I was almost going back to the start of the skill acquisition process, and I felt silly for the first few months of starting it because I wasn't at the level that I would be with an Australian football, but with time and just knowing that there's been Australians who've come before me and done really well at it, you just stick at it. And even now, like guys in the NFL who are Australians, they're still improving each year. So I think that's a process that'll continue throughout my journey forever. And it's just about having fun and getting better every day and those sort of things.
I know that if this happened, it would mean that something kind of went wrong. You either didn't kick it where you wanted to, or there was a big return. But do you kind of want to tackle somebody at some point?
Yeah, that's the funny part. Obviously, yeah, the idea is to not have to be in that position, and we're keeping the ball down at their end. But yeah, like that was a fun part that I miss about Australian football is that physical contact, and we didn't wear pads. I was showing some teammates yesterday some of the highlights of big plays. But yeah, I think ideally I'm getting it down the field, but I'm ready to tackle if need be.
How much American football had you watched before, and how familiar were you with the rules and when you would be coming in and things like that?
So growing up, I had an awareness of NFL. I probably would have watched the Super Bowl. That would be on national television in Australia, but not really following it too closely with much understanding of it. In the end of 2023, I ran into this friend and decided I would look into playing college football, and I got a video game on my phone. It was like a pixel game, and that actually helped me understand the proper rules in a very elementary level of American football, and that's something that we're told at Pro Kick Australia is to invest and just really buy into the process. So that's at that point, it's doing all the research I can on different, not just punting, but the game itself. I think I try to now keep it as simple as I possibly can with I'm just going out there, I'm kicking a ball, and that's as simple as it is. But the more understanding I can have of everything else going around me, I think in the long run it'll help me. And if being able to read what's happening in front of me is a big part of it.
I guess when did you become aware, or an Ole Miss, and y'all used kind of start talking and recruiting process? And were you familiar with Fraser, who was here before?
Yeah, so the recruiting process for me happened slightly different to how other guys in Australia will have it. I was lucky enough, within 3 months of picking up punting, I got an opportunity to come over and visit a number of different schools over here, and Ole Miss was one of them. So within 3 months, I was sort of having a look at all of this place, and I hadn't heard of Oxford, Mississippi before, and I was lucky enough to go through Alabama and Florida as well. And Oxford just felt like it almost felt the most homely college town that I'd been to on that trip was Oxford. So there was a little special connection there. And I got to meet Fraser for the first time. And I think that's the great thing about Australians, having been here before. He was so generous with his time. And even when I got here in January, he was still here preparing for Pro Day, and just getting to learn off him. And obviously the special teams system has been going through, an Australian punter for the last 3 years. So that transition was really helpful, that people had been accustomed to an Australian being here. And my long snapper Carter Short, he played with Fraser, and just having that, having Carter to help me with all of the adjustments and learning things has been really helpful.
What's, I guess, kind of your max or average right now for a punt?
I don't know if I need to talk about numbers, but I think the biggest thing for me has been getting a consistency that I'm happy with, and getting making sure that I'm getting the numbers that the coaches are looking to do, and really playing to a system that works for me. And I think that, it's just something that I focus on each training session and trying to get better, and we'll see how it goes during the season. Like, I'm excited and feel confident after having 6 months of preparing for it. So, really looking forward to the first game.
What food from home do you miss the most, and can you make it here?
Yeah, there's as I said, there's a lot of, I love Asian food as well. Australia's proximity to Asia, we get some great Japanese and Thai food and things like that. And Oxford has all of that, so I get to still have my sushi that I love, things like that. We're by the ocean, so a lot of seafood, so getting to have crab legs the other night was fun, and I think we have, we'll call them prawns or shrimp here, so I think things like that, fresh seafood is something that I miss, although we're lucky here, we get some great catering. Perfect. Great. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.